What's good, people? It's your boy Lowry.
True hippie.
Yes. What is good, people? What is good? Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear. Yep, we're looking good on the stream. Everything's coming through nice. Man. Look, man, started the stream on time. I said last week was going to be, one of the only times that that I would be late, but I was bang on 8 p.m. And thank you very much for joining me tonight on this stream. We've got some big news to talk about. What's good? Loud and clear. You guys can hear me loud and clear. That is good. I like hearing that. 1 second. Oh yeah, 1 second. My bag was just annoying me in the background. You got to have the aesthetics right. So thank you very much for joining me tonight. Man, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. We've got the Oscars to talk about. So the Oscar nominations were released earlier today. There's a new Oceans movie in the works. So we've got confirmation of that. New Star Wars movie. What else is there's a book called Children of Blood and Bones. So that just got the cast members confirmed today. We got some AI stuff in the movies. We got a whole load of stuff to talk about. And then I'm going to be ending the stream with my review on Apple TV's latest TV show called Prime Target. But I think we should get stuck into news. Good to see everyone locked in. Man. We've got traitors at 9 p.m, so I'm not going to keep you guys here too long. But without further ado, let's get into the show. So the first topic for tonight is to do with a film. It's currently being tipped to possibly win an Oscar, and it's called The Brutalist. And earlier this week, one of the editors revealed that there was 2 uses of AI in this movie. So I'll just go through the report that Variety posted. When did they post that? 3 days ago. So basically, The Brutalist has sparked a lot of controversy online. So Brady Corbett's award contender, The Brutalist, is facing backlash after its editor, I think his name pronounced is David Zhangso. I hope I pronounced their name correctly. They revealed that the use of AI in the film's dialogue and the final sequence in the movie. They also they had an interview with Red Shark News, and they announced that AI tools were used to refine the Hungarian accents of star Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones, who star in the movie, and they did this for authenticity. They had voice coaching. There were ADR attempts, but an ADR is, I think it's when you go into an audio studio and you add additional dialogue. I think it's called additional dialogue recording or something on the lines of that. But you'll see most films, they will, especially with action heavy films or films that you're quite far away from the subject from sound wise. You record them to do their dialogue, and then they'll go in later to a studio and re-record the lines as if the mic was right in front of them. So what the editor was saying is that even with coaching, even with the ADR attempts, they just couldn't get that authentic Hungarian accent. So they used AI to help their pronunciation of the words and sentences. And also the editor also contributed his voice to some tricky dialects. Now, what I think they may have done was similar to how we saw Drake last year, where he kind of, he was rapping, but it sounded like it was Tupac rapping. So maybe they had Adrian Brody and Felicity Jones speak in their normal voice, and then in post-production using an AI tool, you were able to blend his voice and her voice with a Hungarian accent, and that's probably how they did it. And also, AI played a role in the film's final sequence. So I've not watched this film. It's out in cinemas tomorrow. And so basically in the film's final sequence, there's an architectural design building that is quite prominent in the movie. And they used AI to apparently come up with this design. And then they had their editors build that for the film. So, AI, I mean, AI has been the hot topic for the past 18 months. The editor said AI has been a time saver for small details. It sparked a new debate on where we are when it comes to art and AI. I think AI has been used way before 18 months ago. There's certain movies that I feel one that comes to mind is Space Jam 2, where that literally felt like they were testing the waters to see how far they could go with, an AI choosing the actors, an AI doing the script, an AI doing the story. And because Space Jam 2 had an AI element to it, we wouldn't really look at that film as cynical as we would look at something like The Brutalist, because this is more quote unquote a film, whereas Space Jam 2 is a kid's movie about basketball and stuff. So, I mean, it sparked a big debate, and it's also got me thinking about, AI in filmmaking. Now, we've seen it in music. I just mentioned Drake, but AI is used for like auto-tuning, for sampling, a whole load of things, even beat production, sequencing. And you know what? I'm not totally against using AI. I'm not totally against using AI when it comes to films and music. I think AI is a tool, and I think whether we like it or not, we just saw Trump announce they put, was it $500 billion into OpenAI's new thing that they're building. So AI is here to stay, whether we like it or not, it's staying. And I think if it can be used as a tool to speed up processes, to enhance your workflow, then I'm not against it. Where I do have a problem with AI, especially when it comes to art, is, sorry, let me just fix my mic, is when you're using it to create art. We watch movies and TV shows, or we listen to music because it comes from a human. It comes from a human perspective. It's a life experience, and we watch it as a TV show, as a film, or we listen to it through an artist's album or song. Now, those will say, well, AI will get to a position where it can replicate human stories, and it probably can. But there's always that soul missing from something that is computer generated. And, this story also got me thinking, is it undermining creativity? The pros, in this case of using AI, they improved the accent, the Hungarian accent. So they were able to get, a great representation of a Hungarian accent that they couldn't do with the actors. You could do subtle tweaks to make performances more believable with AI. A massive thing, which is why film studios are using AI, is the cost. These movies cost millions to make in this generation, and AI can replace a lot of expensive reshoots. It can replace a lot of ADR sessions, location-specific production costs. It can do a lot of that. And for visuals, like The Brutalist did, they were able to say to the AI hey, can you generate me this building? It did it. It cut down a lot of man hours, and then they gave it to their CGI editors to create that work of art in the movie. Again, is this pro creativity or is this harming it? And there were some other things that I jotted down in terms of time efficiency. So I already said that. Also accessibility, which is a massive thing when it comes to movies and making TV shows. And you often find actors, cameramen, director photographies, they enter in they work from the ground up, but their way into the industry is, they have people that they know, or their education was able to speed them and fast track them to becoming a director of photography or cameraman. Because, being in film is expensive, owning a camera is expensive, editing on a PC and Mac is expensive. So with AI, it could cut down a lot of production costs for, your independent filmmaker. And it could probably level the playing field when it comes to making movies and making TV shows. So, for example, you have an idea, GPT could give you, 2 more people on your team to help with stuff. Maybe not use it to create things, but you could say, hey, what are, I don't know, some iconic buildings to look at in the south of France that I could do for my spy movie. And in an instant, it will find you locations to look at, rather than trying to hire someone for being, a location scout person, paying the flights, doing all that stuff. You just cut down days and hours doing that type of thing. So, I think I'm in the middle when it comes to AI. And guys, let me know in the chat, are you pro AI? Are you against AI? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. But then the other side of it, I did have the cons of what AI could lead to, and especially with a money making machine like Hollywood, is you might lose the authenticness when it comes to movies. Like I mentioned, that soul, that human touch, even though an AI can replicate some stories, it can develop some ideas. There's a lot of things that it can do, but the one thing I don't think AI can do is that emotional tone, that emotional touch, that when you just watch a banger and you're just like, yeah, I connected with that. I don't think AI can reproduce that. So, an over reliance on AI might lead to a lot of the movies and TV shows that we watch feeling a bit stale. Also, there's the ethical concerns. It's jobs. AI can do a load of things, and you might start seeing, your Warners, your Paramounts just getting rid of whole departments because AI can do it. And yeah, so, and also the biggest thing, well, one of the biggest things is to do with the awards, because, how do you regulate this? Because, the Brutalist is tipped to be, it is in the Best Picture, and we'll get onto the Oscars later on in the show. But, they, in a way, they've had a help. Their actor wasn't able to do an accent, which in the past, actors have trained their whole career to trying to do accents. And then secondly, they had help with creating an infrastructure that they just apparently didn't have the time to do, all the budget. So in a way, when you're winning, if you've got a film that's done everything to a T, followed the quote unquote film rules, and then you've got a film that just comes in and says, yeah, I just kind of took a few shortcuts doing this and this and this. Again, does that create an unbalance when it comes to awards? And awards aren't everything. There's films that win Oscars that I don't like. But for a creator, it is nice to win awards, and it is nice to know that you are entering in at a level playing field. When you add AI into it, then we don't know. But yeah, like I said at the start, AI has been used in film and TV shows for many, many years. editing film trailers is practically done by AI. Your Netflix is done is done by AI. You know, it knows what you like to watch. Your Instagram, your social media stuff, that TikTok is all AI based. So, you know, we've been living with AI for many, many years. It's just now we're starting to see it more, you know, more in the open when it comes to creative fields. So, yeah, I mean, this is big news. It's a big Oscar film. It's in the running for it, and yeah, it's something lets me get, you know, I do add a question mark as to why this news was released now. And with the film coming out this weekend, you know, bad news is good news. So people may not have even heard of The Brutalist, and this comes up to their For You page, and they're like, okay, I like Adrian Brody. Oh, this film seems to be really interesting. Oh, critics are talking about it. And I bet you 9 times out of 10, I don't think people are even going to care about AI. It's only the purists that are going to care about, like myself, like about AI and stuff. But yeah, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on the use of AI in film. I've not watched The Brutalist, but I might watch it this weekend. I've had really, really good things. It is, I think it's like 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 40 minutes. There is an intermission in the middle of the film, which I like. Not many people like it, but I like that. But yeah, it's out in cinemas this weekend. But I thought I'd just, you know, bring this to you guys and just let me know in the comments your thoughts on it. So yeah, cool. All right, for the next story, and I didn't know this was coming, but we are getting a new Oceans movie. Now, I love the Oceans movies. Like, I grew up watching them. The newer ones, not the older generation ones. But yeah, as it says here, David Leitch is in talks to direct Oceans 14. So I hate when these websites have so many things to click off. So reported by Deadline earlier this week. So David Leitch, behind Bullet Train, most recently Fall Guy, is in early discussions to helm the Oceans 14, and this will mark the first film in the franchise that's not going to be directed by Steven Soderbergh. So this is going to be in a co-production with Warner Bros. And Smokehouse, and they also aim to reunite the original star-studded cast that included Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and Matt Damon. So Conclave director Edward Berger was previously in talks to do this reboot or Oceans 14, but they're no longer attached to the movie. But yeah, this is exciting news. I like the Oceans franchise. I wasn't the biggest fan of the what was it, Oceans 8 with Sandra Bullock. It was okay, but it didn't have the same feeling as the other Oceans movies. But I mean, look, Steven Soderbergh made his imprint with this film. Can a new director make Oceans 14 live up to the legacy of those movies? Soderbergh has an extremely unique style. Similar, I'd say he's kind of like, his name's gone out of my head now. Guy Ritchie. I can't believe I just had my mind just went blank there. Yeah, he's not like for like, but he's similar to Guy Ritchie in which he has like a non-linear style of storytelling, extremely sharp editing, and a nice aesthetics in his movies. And that kind of was there with the Oceans movies. You know, they had a really cool feel to it. It was sharply edited, very witty, and you know, it told the story from different timelines throughout when we're watching the film. David Leitch is very action heavy, extremely fast paced. So again, will he marry or will he adopt his style to an Oceans movie? And cast reunion as well. Back in the day, it was star power. You know, your Brad Pitt, your George Clooney, Matt Damon's. I'm still a fan of those actors, but I don't know in this new generation are they going to be a big draw for this new generation of audiences? The old generation will come, but you're doing a new film. You want a new wave of watchers for an Ocean's movie. Could we see Julia Roberts appear in this movie? We don't know. And also, we're going to have to see new faces in this film. So how is the movie going to balance the old cast with fresh faces to keep it relevant for the new audiences? So, and also, I think we've had a string of really good heist titles over the past few years. One that comes to mind is Money Heist on Netflix. You had Lupin, which is a French heist TV show, which I really enjoy. I can't wait for the new series. Can Oceans, can they refresh what they did? Us as fans, we want to see an Oceans movie, but we don't want to see the same stuff that you was doing 10, 15 years ago. What twists can they include? So it's a big step I would say, for Warner Bros. and Oceans, because I think we definitely have come a long way in that heist genre, and I think they're going to have to be really bold with how they go ahead and execute a new Oceans movie. I think it's great that the original cast are coming back, but I think they'll probably use this. You'll probably see a new trilogy, and the old cast will then start to become like the old guard in the movie, and then you'll have a list, a new, fresh actors in there to refresh the franchise. For the Oceans, I bet their children takeover not predictable at all. Oh, as in so they've had kids. So there's been many years have gone by, and their kids now start doing the heists. That would be extremely predictable. But yeah, we got a new Oceans 14 guys coming. And of course, when more news breaks out about this title, I'll be keeping you guys updated. So going to take it to the next title. And this one, I'm not familiar with the books, but I've seen a lot, and when I mean a lot, like a lot of people speaking about this. And it's to do with a book called Children of Blood and Bone. And Paramount have confirmed an adaptation film that has an incredible cast. I mean, this cast is amazing. You got Damson Idris, you got Tosin Cole, who I actually interviewed for Supercell. You can catch that on YouTube. We've got Amandla Stenberg, you've got Thuso Mbidu, I hope I pronounced their name correctly. It's going to be directed by Gina Prince Bythewood. She directed The Woman King. And this movie set to release on the 15th of January 2027. Apparently it's going to be filmed in IMAX, which is going to be amazing. You're going to feel that epicness from this film. And basically the story of the book, like I said, I've not read the book, so this is just a synopsis from online. It follows a character called Zeely, who teams up with her brother and Princess Amari to reclaim magics that was stolen from their people by King Sauron. We're going to get, it's a fantasy journey, maybe a bit of coming of age, action, all of that mixed into it. We also have more cast members that includes Viola Davis, Cynthia Erivo, Idris Elba, Lashana Lynch, who else? Chiwetel Ejiofor. I mean, this is a big production. Also, Regina King is in talks to join as well. And production is expected to start in South Africa soon. And, I think South Africa will be an amazing location to film, to bring this magical, vibrant world to life. And this, I'm assuming, will be part of a trilogy, because the books are part of a trilogy. And I think all copies altogether have sold close to 3 million copies worldwide. So, and it's going to be centering around the Black experience. Like, we don't get to see Black fantasy TV shows or films. So this is amazing. Of course, we've had House of Dragons, when you had a couple of black actors, but we've never had something solely focused on the black experience in this world, and I think this is amazing. Damson Idris from Snowfall, one of my favorite actors right now, although I'd love to see him in a few more productions, but I think that's going to come. I think Snowfall did take a lot out of him, and it feels like he's kind of sat back, gone back to the drawing board, and he's choosing projects that are going to propel him to the next level. And having someone like Idris Elba in the film to help navigate him through this is going to be a big movie, I think is great. Cynthia Erivo, who's just fresh hot off Wicked and her performance in Wicked, I know she's going to be fantastic in this. Viola Davis, I mean, what more do I need to say about Viola? I mean, an incredible actor. So again, I've not read the book, so I can't add too much to it, but I am excited for this production. And yeah, I just can't wait to see this new world build. We're probably I kind of do miss the Hunger Games, is it Divergent? You had what was another one? You had a Maze Runner, like that type of film where you knew you was in for a ride. You knew you was in for 3 or 4 movies where you're going to grow with these characters, the story, this crazy world. And I kind of feel in cinema right now, it's kind of missing. So I'm hoping that this film, Children of Blood and Bone, will bring that feeling back, because I think it's needed. I definitely think it's needed. Thanks for joining. Yeah, this is definitely a fire cast. And like you said, can't wait for this one. I can't wait for this one either. So yeah, when more news becomes available about that film, I'll definitely be keeping you guys updated, because yeah, I can't wait for that. So yeah, that was just touching on Children of Blood and Bone. All right, cool. So we're taking it. Got a few more stories left. Don't worry, guys. We're making it good for time. I know Traitors is on at 9. Let me know in the chat who you think's going to win Traitors as well, if you do watch it. But yeah, this story came out of nowhere, and we've got Ryan Gosling, who's in talks to star in Sean Levy's Star Wars movie, which I was like, wow, Ryan Gosling. I mean, I would never have pictured him to be in a Star Wars movie. But yeah, Ryan Gosling is reportedly in talks to lead Sean Levy's upcoming Star Wars film. And this is a huge mark for the Star Wars franchise, because I don't think they have used an A-list actor for any of their movies. I think you had Mark Hamill, who was a newcomer at the time, and then the next part of the franchise was Daisy Ridley as Rey. She was a newcomer. She wasn't known much in the industry. And yeah, so I think this is an extremely bold move for Star Wars. I know why they are doing it, because I'd probably say the Star Wars stocks right now are not quite high. So this movie is going to be a standalone movie. It's been in development since 2022. It's not going to be connected to the Skywalker saga, but it will aim to expand the Star Wars universe. So Levy is known for Deadpool, The Adam Project, that's on Netflix. He is going to be producing this film under his 21 Laps banner alongside Kathleen Kennedy at Lucasfilm. The script is written by Jonathan Trooper, and yeah, Gosling is apparently finalizing the deal to be the lead in this movie, and it's going to be probably the next Star Wars project to enter production. But yeah, I mean, Star Wars right now, like I said, their stocks are not the highest. Traitors, Alexandra. Wait, Alexandra? Alex. Oh, okay, cool. I want the faithfuls to win. Alexander, to be specific. Charlotte needs to go. We'll get into traitors in a bit. But yeah, like if we go through the recent, wow, 2015 was the reboot, Force Awakens. That 10 years ago. Damn. That feels like only yesterday. But yeah, the issue with Star Wars is that with the new, I mean, they had the whole Skywalker trilogy, and that ended with The Rise of Skywalker in 2019. And it kind of felt like Disney didn't really know what to do with the franchise as a whole. They kind of tried to just do the same that they did before. And I think fans, whilst we love nostalgia, it kind of got a bit stale. And then that trickled into their TV shows. So they had, who was their TV? They had like Clone Wars. No, Clone Wars wasn't too. Their animated wasn't too bad. So they came out with a banger, The Mandalorian, and I don't think anyone expected The Mandalorian to perform as well as it did. I think the last series wasn't great, but it was still watchable. Then you had the Book of Boba Fett, which was I don't know why they gave us that. Obi-Wan Kenobi was cool. You know, it was nice to see some old faces. You know, Ewan McGregor coming back. You had who's it that played Anakin? Can't remember his name now. I can't remember his name. Hayden Christensen, that's it. Hayden Christensen is back as Darth Vader and stuff. But again, that was a lot of like nostalgia bait from Disney. It wasn't like either a new, refreshing story. Then you had Andor, which was I enjoyed Andor, and I'm looking forward to the second season, which is out in April. Then you had Ahsoka, which I didn't watch. I heard good things from it, but again, nothing outstanding. The Acolyte, which came out the middle of last year, around June time, I mean, that got absolutely slated, and they cancelled it. They brought one season out and they cancelled it. And then the Skeleton Crew, which is the most recent TV show, which released in December, again, it didn't grab me. It didn't do anything for me. So I get why Disney are getting someone like Ryan Gosling, who's fresh hot off Barbie. You know, he's one of the main guys right now in the industry, to feature in a Star Wars movie. They need to get bums on seats, because I think the Star Wars stock right now, like I said, isn't at the highest right now. So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this Star Wars film turns out, where the story is going to be heading. Look, for me, as I wouldn't say like I'm a super fan of Star Wars, but I just want to see great characters. I want to see a story that has emotion in it. I don't want it to feel like a Disney cash grab. And I want to see lightsaber battles. I want to see action. I feel like when I'm watching Star Wars content recently, it's just guns and everyone running away from each other. It's, I don't know. Like Rogue One was another one. Rogue One, fantastic. Again, that had a perfect blend of characters, story, action, and emotion. And I felt they could have continued somehow with that Rogue One narrative, but yeah. They had Solo. Again, not an amazing film. But yeah, we are getting a new Star Wars film. There's no exact release date just yet, but I would assume this is probably going to come after the Mandalorian movie, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is coming out the 22nd of May next year. So I reckon 2027 release date for this. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this new Star Wars project. All right, cool. We are getting to the last story of tonight, and it's to do with the Oscars. The Oscars were announced today, delayed because of the LA fires. I think they were supposed to be announced a few weeks back, but yeah, today we had the Oscar announcements, and a lot of question marks, I would say. So I'm not going to go through every single list because we'll be here past Traitors time, and I know everyone wants to watch Traitors at 9. But I'll just give you the high level information. So the films that got that were most nominated this year: Emilia Perez, 13 nominations; The Brutalist, the film that I mentioned at the start of this show, 10 nominations; Wicked, 10 nominations, which is great to see; A Complete Unknown, 8; Conclave, one of my favorite films of last year, 8 nominations; Honora got 6; Dune Part 2 I felt should have got more, 5 nominations; The Substance, a really good film that I enjoyed, but it is a Marmite film. It's not for everyone. 5 nominations. And Nosferatu, which came out in America in December, so I think it was able to be included in the Oscar run, has 4 nominations. My biggest question mark is why this Emilia Perez movie is hot stuff right now, because I get this is a film that I've not watched because it's a musical, and I'm not the biggest fan of musicals. So yeah, there's no point me going to watch them. But everyone that I've spoken to about Emilia Perez have said it's not levels. Like, this film, they don't understand the hype that the film's getting. It seems to be like this manufactured hype train that is happening, and they don't know why. So yeah, just going through Best Picture. So Honora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. I think Best Picture is going to be between Conclave and The Brutalist. I think it's going to be between those films. Directing, you have Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez, Sean Baker, Honora, Brady Corbett, The Brutalist, Coralie Forget, The Substance, and James Mangold for A Complete Unknown. Wow. I'm actually surprised there's no Denis Villeneuve for Dune Part 2, which is quite surprising. Actor in the leading role: Adrian Brody, The Brutalist; Timothy Chalamet, A Complete Unknown; Coleman Domingo, Sing Sing. I still need to watch Sing Sing. I've heard really good reviews from the people that I know. And I like Coleman Domingo as well. Ray Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice. Oh, interesting. I mean, Sebastian Stan plays Donald Trump in the movie The Apprentice. So, actress in the leading role: Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon, Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison, Honora, Demi Moore. Well done, Demi Moore. The Substance. It's a good film. And Fernanda Torres, I'm Still Here. This is what got me. This section here is what got me vexed. Actor in a supporting role: you have Yura Borisov in Honora, Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain, Edward Norton, A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce, The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong, The Apprentice. Where's Denzel Washington? His performance in Gladiator 2, fair enough if you didn't like the movie. I enjoyed the movie, but it's a film that has a split opinion. But Denzel's performance is probably one of the best performances of last year. How is he not for Best Supporting Actor? That is baffling. That is so baffling. I can't believe that. I really can't believe that. Actress in a supporting role, you've got Monica Barbero, A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones, The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini, Conclave, and Zoe Saldana in Emilia Perez. If we go through animated feature films, you've got Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit. Well, salute to Wallace and Gromit, man. Salute to Wallace and Gromit and The Wild Robot. Cinematography, The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. Oh, that's a very good list. I think Nosferatu is going to take cinematography. That film looks stunning. Jarin Blanchet did an incredible job cinematography wise. I mean, Nosferatu itself is a brilliant film, but the cinematic look and experience of that movie, amazing. It's going to be between Greg Fraser and Jarin Blanchet, because Nosferatu looks gorgeous, and so did Dune Part 2. And Greg Fraser right now is probably pound for pound best cinematographer. I'd say the new gen right now. That's who I think. All right. I mean, it's a long list. I won't go through all of it, but let me know in the chat, guys. Have you watched any of the films that are in this list? On this list, and let me know your thoughts on it. The Oscars will be on the 2nd of March, and Conan O'Brien will be hosting it. Cool. And apparently it's going to be on Hulu, so it'll be interesting to see if this will be on Disney Plus, because Hulu is on Disney Plus. But yeah, that's just a roundup of the Oscars, my thoughts on it, and one highlight is that Challengers didn't get any nominations, and people were upset about that. Don't get me wrong, look, Challengers was an okay film, but for me, it's not an Oscar movie. I just didn't see what other people saw. I kind of felt it was like a social media pushed movie. But yeah, a lot of people were crying online saying, why did Challengers not get, an Oscar nomination because of how much hype it received last year? Unlucky, guys. Unlucky. Cool. All right. So we're heading to the last bit of the show. And this is my review. So we're going to get into it. And this is to do with a new Apple TV show. And it's called Prime Target. So this is a new Apple TV Plus miniseries, 8 episodes, and it basically follows a postgraduate mathematics student who uncovers a plot to destroy his groundbreaking research on prime numbers, a discovery that could grant access to every computer system in the world. Now, the release for this this is a TV series on Apple TV Plus. The release for this show, it was kind of strange because I've watched all 8 episodes. The first 2 episodes premiered yesterday, which is Wednesday, so you can watch the first 2 now. But yeah, the release for this was a bit strange. The trailer didn't come out until like really close to its release. Normally, Apple are extremely confident and they release the trailers way in advance. And there just wasn't much try to do some research on it prior to watching it. There just wasn't much about this TV show online. So I thought, okay, it's a bit strange for an Apple show, but Apple TV Plus is one of my favorite, probably my favorite streaming platform right now. And and they've been on a hot streak right now. So I thought, you know what, this is probably going to end up being another good TV show. They just released Severance season 2. So, they'll continue this run. They do really well in this spy, thriller, espionage genre. Slow Horses, fantastic show if you haven't watched it. So I thought, you know what, this will be a good show. So what I liked about this series is that this is definitely a fresh and unique take on, it's a thriller, but there's also some espionage spy element to it. And the focus is mathematics at its core. And I was like, raw. Like, who knew maths could be this engaging? Like, I like maths, but to put it into a TV show and make it the sole, the sole essence of the whole show and build characters around maths, I was like, you know what? Props to the creators, props to Apple for bringing this to light. It's not the same old show that we're used to watching. I liked that there were, connections to historic buildings, and their ties to modern day life when it comes to maths. I won't say anything because I don't do spoilers on my show, but I found that was interesting, and it added a nice layer of intrigue to the show, even though I don't think it's like 100%, the accuracy of it is 100%. It could be a bit debatable, but I did Google some names that I heard throughout the show, and they did come up on Google. They are true things, and I thought that was a really nice touch. And also, I liked the lead actor, Leo Woodall. I think he was in what TV show was it? White Lotus season 2, and he's the antagonist in this series, and he plays this like smug, know-it-all. I mean, again, he's a whiz. he's a maths whiz in this show, and the way he plays his role, I thought was really good. He's not likable. He comes across just self-loves himself, doesn't care about anything else apart from his science project of what he's working on. And so with that, I thought, when I first put on episode 1, I thought it wasn't like a stellar Apple TV Plus show, but there was enough in there to keep me interested. But unfortunately, and this is where we get to what I disliked, after I would say the first 3 episodes, but when it got to the 4th, when it got to the 5th, the series, it does take a sharp nosedive. The story becomes predictable. And again, the start of the show wasn't how I'm used to an Apple TV Plus show. There were things that I was able to guess instantly, and when it came to the last episode, I was like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. But I wasn't totally mad at that. First couple of episodes, I'm like, there's enough in this series that they could pull the rug from under my feet and take it into a whole new direction. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. Even though this is a thriller, like I said, there are some spy espionage elements, Big Brother type thing going on in the show. But even those elements of the TV show just failed to engage me consistently throughout the series. After that 3rd, 4th episode, it just became samey and just gets a bit boring. And I would say also the dialogue and again, the dialogue just felt a bit bland, like telegraphed at times, I'd say. Character development was underwhelming. Apart from Leo Woodall's character, you don't really get to know anyone else on a level. There are a few emotional scenes, but again, the way they were delivered, the dialogue and everything, I didn't really connect with those scenes, unfortunately. So yeah, I left the show feeling like the cast was a bit bland, and because of that, everything else kind of felt flat, and that the stakes are low, which is crazy because when you find out the reveal in the TV show, you would be thinking this is not how this show should be going, because the stakes should be way higher than this, way higher than this. So yeah, it was a bit disappointing when I got to the end of the series. And for a platform that is known for exceptional production, Severance, Slow Horses, this show, Silo, it does fall short. And I think Apple TV Plus, for the first time in a while, missed the mark here with this show. And look, this is one season. There have been TV shows in the past that first season wasn't levels and they come back with an absolute banger. I can see potential for a second season. Apple's issue is that because not a lot of people watch Apple TV Plus like they do on Netflix or Paramount, that when a show like this doesn't rise straight to the top, I don't know if they're going to commission a second season for this. But if they do have a second season, it needs a significant improvement on on everything across the board, because just wasn't levels for me. So that was my review for the latest Apple TV show called Prime Target. It's out now. The first 2 episodes are out now. And with that said, I'm giving it a Lowery 2.5 out of 5 stars. So that's my score for it. Cool. That brings us to the end of the show, guys. All wrapped up before Traitors. So let me just quickly go through the comments, because I've seen some Traitors comments. Let me see here. Alexander, I want the faith. Oh, so yeah, Nosferatu needs to, so I'm just going through comments. Nosferatu needs to win. I really enjoyed Nosferatu, but I don't know if it, I don't know. Actually, no, it is up there with Conclave. It is up there. And I've not seen the Brutalist yet, so I do need to watch it before the Oscars come. And Dune Part 2. I don't know why Dune wasn't nominated for more awards, because that was an incredible film as well. But as we know with these awards, they don't really go for sci-fi or horrors. You know, they stick to drama movies. So which is a shame, because they miss out on a whole world that is just ripe with so many fantastic titles. So hopefully in years to come, you know, the awards, they change their tune on looking at these types of films, but we'll see. The concepts of the show sounds interesting. It does, and that's the thing. The Prime Target, the maths element, I thought they were gonna do, like, there's a show that came out on BBC called Devs, and I thought Prime Target was gonna be Apple TV's Devs, and Devs was about kind of like a quantum computer running a forest. And actually, I won't say, because if you haven't watched it, I don't want to ruin it. But Devs is a type of show that you had to sit down and focus and really understand the different layers in that TV show. And it was a fantastic show. It really broke the boundaries for that whole sci-fi thriller, quantum computing, multiverse, all that type of stuff. And I thought the way they stitched the story together with the characters, with the emotion, was a brilliant show. And I thought that with Prime Target, after the first episode, seeing that it was about prime numbers and maths, and you're linking it back to ancient history, and they uncover this building, and, you know, thousands of years ago, they already knew about what this guy was trying to fix. So it's kind of like we've regressed in education, and thousands of years ago, these guys were super intelligent, and certain intelligent people in this generation were able to figure out a code and all this type of stuff. And I thought Apple were gonna, I mean, that's a prime story that you can run with, and you could do so many things with it. But yeah, like I said, the series just kind of felt extremely closed. It didn't feel breathable, predictable, extremely linear, and they could have done so many things with that concept, which is quite upsetting. But yeah, seeing if anyone else is on there before I end the stream. All right, cool. Well, with that said, got 5 minutes till Traitors. I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. I'll be on same time next week on Thursday, the Everything Lowery Show. This Sunday, I've got Sunday Superverse with my guy, Real M, the man of the people. We're going to be discussing everything to do with superhero. And there's been some big topics this week to do with superhero TV shows and movies. So if you're into that type of stuff, make sure you tune in on Sunday. If you want to be notified when I go live, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that bell notification. So whenever I post new content or I come on live, you'll be notified on your phone. So yeah, I appreciate you guys joining. Have a great evening. Have a great night. And yeah, I'll catch you next week. Peace.